Welcome to Blender Frenzy. I am Justin, and just this past week we have a new release of Blender, and most of you know that I normally don't do these for each release, only the long-term ones, but because they keep doing so much work on the video sequence editor, I am happy to look into that and see what's next. So that's what we're doing today, and it's discovery mode because you can see right here that I have Blender open, and this is a fresh install. I haven't even loaded my 3.1 settings yet, so let's go ahead and do that. And will it work? Will it work? Is it doing something? It's doing something. Boom. There we go. Yes. And the scale size is a little bit bigger so you guys can see it easier on my tutorials. Oh, speaking of that, let's put this on. It is a Friday, so this week has been really busy for me, and I'm really tired, but I'm ready to get into it. I've been busy doing something that's just around the corner. It's going to be at blenderfrenzy.com. If you go there right now, you're not going to see anything except for my maintenance page, but blenderfrenzy.com is coming soon to a browser near you. So stay tuned for that. Lots of good stuff coming up. Okay, but anyway, today we are actually talking about Blender 3.2, the latest stable release right here. We're going to look at the release notes specifically for the VFX and video. If you scroll down, we have this right here. And then we go. First thing we have is sequencer, which I like. That's what should be the first. So we've got add filter method to strip transform. So I don't know. Again, I haven't tested any of these out yet. So what's this? Let's go ahead and look at this. Okay, so add filter method to strip transform. Okay, previously nearest interpolation filter was used for preview because it offered good performance, and bilinear was used for rendering. This is not always desirable behavior, so a filter method can now be chosen by the users. Chosen method will be used for preview and rendering. Okay. Strip A is transformed. Strip A is blended with underlying strip B. Underlying strip B is very contrast. You'll see an aliased sharp border, but in the render, you will see a dark smooth border. Yes, I see. Okay, so you have this darker border here. Okay, so you have an option, I guess. Where was that option? Is it on here? Alpha over, opacity. Oh, it's just showing you alpha over. Is that doing the same thing? Oh yeah, I think maybe there's a darker border there. Oh, here's the filter, nearest. Oh, did I miss that last? Oh yeah, so it wasn't here. But now we have another filter as nearest. Psh, transform strip. Who still uses a transform strip? Somebody needs to tell them that you don't have to use a transform strip anymore. By cubic? Oh, look at that. Translation unit, percent. Yeah, see, this is where it would be useful for like different alpha over, especially like this. That's interesting. Okay. So then hopefully then you can kind of get rid of that. All right, next one. Use float for transform offset. Okay, yeah. So what is this? When image position is animated, float makes movement look smoother. Okay, so yeah, just more accuracy with the numbers there. That's good. Okay, next one. Now it is possible to create a new scene based on the active strip. Okay, this one was confusing to me, so I did read through these. I haven't tested them out, but I did read through these, and I didn't really test out this filter method strip transform. I guess why don't we do that? Let's do that first. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So let's go up to new video editing, and we'll close this. Oh, hey, look at these. You've got these channels now here, too. I haven't tested this. I know that you can rename these channels, which is really nice. And you can lock them and display them or not display them. So that's really sweet. We'll come to that in just a moment. And actually, what I'm going to do is we'll do a color here. A color strip. Let's make this one fully white, and then just duplicate that up. And we'll do something like this and just scale this down. So I'm curious. Let's go to rendering here and see what that looks like. Okay. So I don't know if this has anything to do with that. Well, what did they did something like, they did like, I can see something's happening there. All right. Let's pull out a render. Image editor and render results here. Okay, so we've got our transform and we got bilinear and nearest. Okay. So F12. Okay, well, you can, maybe this isn't the best example here, but the concept's still pretty simple. Okay, and then new scene based on this active strip. This is the one I want to check out because I didn't understand this one. The new scene is assigned to the active strip. This patch adds a button in the scene to add a new one, but does not change to the new created scene because this breaks the storyboarding workflow. The goal of this patch is to try and improve actual storyboard workflow with small UI change. For example, when storyboarding, it's common to use the existing scene as the base of a new one. Without the patch, the actual workflow goes like this. Duplicate a strip, okay. Rename the strip, switch to the linked scene, workspace. Okay, I don't work a lot with scenes. This is probably why. Oh, here we go. We've got a video. Oh, this looks really tedious. Oh, I did look at this once, and I thought this was really strange too. It's like, oh, here's a scene here, but I can't make a new scene from this or something like that. So yeah, that looks useful. So okay, let's look at this video. It says, with the new scene control in the scene panel, there are far fewer steps required. Duplicate the strip, rename the strip, make a full copy of this linked scene, rename the new scene. Okay, yeah, look at this. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's so much that's so much faster. Absolutely, yeah. So I'm not going to, you obviously saw this in action. I'm not going to actually do it. Because again, I don't work with many scenes and I don't actually have a scene to do this with. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Awesome job. Sequencer is getting more and more powerful by the day. Okay, here we go. So add channel headers provides ability to assign, label, and per channel mute and lock buttons. So that's kind of what we saw. Let's see if there is a video or example of this here. It's a screenshot. Okay, yeah, I'm renaming the channels. Okay, so sound, video, overlay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't know if I'm going to use this a whole lot. Maybe I will for the locking. And then the display. Although renaming the channels would be nice if you're like, for me, because I'm moving things around all the time. When I'm editing, nothing has its own channel. What would be nice is once everything is finished, then to name the channels for what they would be. So at least in my workflow, replace the current selection. Oh yeah, this never worked for me. I didn't understand. VSE file browser actually has a replace selection option, which in theory could determine the target destination, but it never worked in recent times and is a substandard solution. Yeah, I mean, again, it didn't work for me either. Okay, that's cool. Let's just check that out again. Let's see, here we go. Oh yeah, so we got base color, shapes. That's cool. Okay, yeah. Oh, let's get rid of the render here for now. And then yeah, so if we just get rid of this altogether. We can lock that too. I wonder if, oh, you can still see it. I wonder what was that locking to? Is that I just can't grab it? Can I cut it? See, this didn't make any sense to me. If it's locked, why can I still cut this? Because that would be awesome. If you have such stuff layered, you don't want to accidentally cut anything beneath it. This would be awesome for me because I have it selected where everything underneath is selected by default. That's the same frame range. Normally that's actually, you have to hold, it's either control or shift. No, I think it's control to do that normally in Blender. And if I just selected things to lock, then I could just, I don't know. That may be more of a hassle than it's worth. But anyway, okay, cool. There you go. Next, enable edge panning for transform operator. When dragging strip out of view, it pans the view. Okay, yeah, I think I know what that is. Let's just try it. So, okay. Yeah, just take a strip and just start dragging it out of view. And it's not panning the view. Is this an option that we have to check? Yeah, it says it works the same way as in the node editor, which I've noticed that, which has actually been a little annoying. I wonder, is that just up? It's not doing it at all. Is it just one? Is it an option here in the toolbar? Enable edge panning for transform operator. Oh, hey, look at that. I'm just looking at the bottom here. If I start clicking and dragging, you can see all these options that pop up at the bottom here. If I click and drag, control snap to invert, snap toggle, automatic constraint. I didn't know this one. If I hold the middle mouse button down also, I can automatically constrain it up or down or left or right. That's cool. I don't know how practical that, oh, I guess that could. I have to get really used to that because I have to use two fingers for this. And then, of course, you got precision mode, which is your shift key. And then cancel, and then we've got the X and Y axis, which I already know about that. Add edge panning feature to perform operator. Enable edge panning, but where do I enable it? Is it not enabled by default? It's not working. It's not dragging it anywhere. I'm dragging it out of the view. It pans the view. It's not panning the view. And it doesn't even give me an option down there. Is it in the preferences? And I'm really tired, so I may be just missing something. You're probably just screaming, Justin, why'd you miss this? I'm tired. It's a Friday. I'm going to move on, though, so leave a comment if you know what I'm missing, if I'm missing anything. Okay, next one. Better handling of animation when transforming strips. Transforming no longer extends selection. I don't know what that last part means. Since effect strips can't be transformed directly, their selection had to be forced in order to process them. Functional changes, here we go. When a 2-input effect strip changes position, animation is offset, even if only the handles are moved. This only applies to 2-input effect, however. Selection is not extended to include effect strips anymore. If effects are to be moved, they must be selected manually. This is because previously it was very hard to reorganize effects in chain, since moving the first strip in the chain would always select anywhere from 1 to n effects or whatever effects. So creating or filling a gap in the channel would almost always result in collision, especially if their order in the timeline doesn't perfectly represent the order in the chain. Okay, this sounds like a little bit more of a complicated scenario that I don't think I've run across, and I wouldn't even know what to try here. What I would kind of like, and I don't know how closely related to this it is, but if you dragged, like if you had animation, let's just make a quick animation here. And okay, there you go. Here's our float position there. And then go back here. So we got our little animation there. What I would like to have actually is, this is the end of our animation. Let's put this here. Not both of those, just this one. Is the animation last for as long as this is. So if I grab this and pull this out, I would want that animation to last all the way here. It would be nice to have a hotkey or some sort of option that would link the keyframes to the length of the strip so that it would scale along those. It would be the same with if you had multiple keyframes in one strip, then it would just scale all of those out as you lengthened the strip. I wonder if I could take this and put it in a meta strip, and then would that scale this out? Or would that, no, it's the same thing. So yeah, that would be cool. But other than that, this sounds like something complicated because I don't do 2-input effect strips usually. So when I run across it, maybe I will make another video about it. Okay, so add frame selected operator for preview. All right, what is this? The operator moves the view to show the selected visible strips. Didn't we have something? Oh, visible strips, not, oh, the selected visible strips. Yeah, isn't that just period on the numpad? Oh, good. Here's a video. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, whoa. Hey, he has a pie menu. How did you get a pie menu? Wait, hold on. Oh, wait. What? Did it say what button he was pressing? This is why I have the screencast keys on usually. I don't today because I'm not really doing much with them. Tab, Q. Oh, hey, look at that. Clear keyframes. What? I can clear keyframes. How can I? Why can't I make keyframes? Keyframe. Insert keyframe. Doesn't seem to have. Well, that's interesting. Control tab switches between preview and sequencer. Alright. Didn't know that. Where's my pie? Alt W? Is that even... Oh, it is. Look at that. But there's no... That's just the fallback tool. Oh. Okay, that doesn't do anything. Alt Q. Alt S. Alt A. Alt X. Alt R. Alt T. Alt Z. Shift Z. Control Z. Oh, that's undo. Alt Z. See, this is where it gets confusing. Like, is it just me, or is it actually not working, like it's supposed to be working, or is this something that is just these are coming? But that wouldn't make sense because this is supposed to be the release notes. With this, these are released here. So I apologize if I'm just too dense to understand or figure this out. But sequencer frame all, frame selected. Okay, here we go. Frame selected. Boom. Okay. Well, oh, that's that one. I want to select this one. Frame selected. Yeah, that works. But where's my display? It doesn't look like there was a hotkey. Because if I do like split strips, oh, it doesn't show the hotkey. Okay, so let's come back over here. I think we're frame selected. Sequencer, frame selected. Sequencer preview, frame selected. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I didn't even think to try that. So here it's frame selected here if it's in the preview or in the sequencer, it's the period on the numpad. So it's the same here, of course. Wow, that took me way longer than I'm going to ever admit. And I'm going to cut out a whole bunch of stuff that you won't see. Okay, frame selected, not the frame, but to frame. Okay, next one. Thumbnail for first image now represents handle position. Thumbnail for first image. Okay, that's having the thumbnails on. When handles are moved, job is created only for strips that need to update the first thumbnail. Ooh, and I did find something which we might get to later when I was looking around for this frame selected operator. It's this thing here. Limit view to contents. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to be using that a lot, and still I can't go up. With the graph editor and all of these other editors, I can pull this up way above, at the bottom. I guess that's because Y can go in a negative direction on a graph, but you can't have negative channels. So I guess that kind of makes sense. But I like this to be able to move it around freely. I'm constantly doing this. But this, if you click and have this on, limit view to contents, I can't move up or down or whatever. I don't like that. I'd have to pull this up first and then I can move that. So yeah, I'm going to have that off definitely. So let's add a video. So the thumbnails, which I hardly actually use, but they're up here. If you have your overlays turned on, go to thumbnails, and then it will generate this. And if I grab this, oh, okay, interesting. Look at this, like pulls out, kind of pulls out another frame. It's kind of cool. I think that's what they're talking about. Looks like they collapse into each other. Ah, yeah, and that doesn't do it on the back end. Just the first frame. Yep. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. Okay, and last one for the sequencer, add option to limit the timeline view height. Yep, we went over that. That was, you can't drag it past the highest channel that the strips are on. So, okay, and compositor, add combine and separate XYZ nodes. This is interesting because I thought they already existed in the compositor. Where did they exist? They existed in geometry nodes and maybe the shader editor. We have this node for the shader. Oh, there we go. Shader editor and geometry nodes. Compositor can also work with vectors, and this can help with that. Yeah, this is, wow. I did. This is a long time coming. Clip editor, fix tilt scale slider of marker jumping on initial mouse grab. Okay, so I guess the mouse cursor wasn't really following this when you would drag it. I don't actually remember what it looked like before or how it functioned before. Okay. Motion tracking fixes very slow tracking with keyframe pattern matching when movie does not fit into cache. So maybe if it's not all cached in, then where we had keyframe matching keyframe, I'm guessing. So if I just, I don't know, Control T. Okay, well, that's cool. More performance boosts, but that is it, and that took me way longer than I thought, but I'll cut a lot of that out for you, of me trying to slowly figure things out. But yeah, hey, if you figure any of this other stuff out that I wasn't able to figure out, leave a comment. Other than that, like I said, watch out for BlenderFrenzy.com coming to a browser near you. So stay tuned, and you'll see me in the next one.